creating a writing lesson plan, how to do it. You can find ideas in my book, Teaching Reading and Writing, as well as on my website. Lots of teacher resources there. It starts with a definition of writing. Writing is creating meaning with text using both picture cues and letter cues. So the goal of the writing lesson plan is to enable children to create meaning with print. Good teachers know how to do this. The goal is for children to transmit and record their ideas, not your ideas or a neat story starter. Record their ideas. An important thing to keep in mind is that all children can write. Yes, they can, starting the very first day of kindergarten. They may use more picture cues than letter cues, but they can create meaning with print. They can use these little symbols to transmit and record their ideas. Good writing teachers, and I hope that's what you ascribe to be, create the conditions for writing to occur. You know how to get out of the way and let the magic of writing happen. Remember the 5-step writing process. You can stop if you want and go over each one of these. But the writing lesson plan is comprised of the pre-write, the draft, and the share. Pre-write is to prepare for the writing, to generate ideas. Draft, get those first ideas on paper, sloppy copy, and then share. Find an audience. This is where the magic of writing happens. In the 5-step writing process, students choose. They select which of these drafts they're going to take to the revision and editing stage. Not everything goes to this stage. Just like in reality, I'm able to choose which of my drafts I revise and edit and ultimately share or publish. And literacy should look like reality. It should reflect reality to the greatest extent possible. So, writing lesson plans, simple, mostly pre-write, draft, and share. I would say most writing lesson plans take between 5 and 15 minutes, maybe 20 at the outset. Starts with a purpose statement. What is the purpose of the statement? Well, students will write. If it's teacher-directed, where you have a prime the pump or some sort of writing prompt, the purpose statement, sometimes called an objective, is students will write about, and insert your topic here. If it's open-ended, the purpose statement is simply students will write. Simple as that. Never ask students to write a story about something. Write a story about a frog. Write a story about when a frog and a prince. Now, why do you think that is? Semantic question. Don't expect you to answer. We want children to write from within their experiences, their expectations, their observations to the greatest extent possible. But why? Why is that so, Andy? Are you a kook? Well, I could be a kook. But the reason is that children, especially young children, are very concrete in their thinking. Remember Piaget. They are not adept at abstract thinking. A story about is out there. It's external. That doesn't mean there is not a place for creative writing and we don't want stories to happen. What it does mean, to the greatest extent possible, with these early writing experiences, if you really want to make it magic, tell me about, describe your experiences. What happened when you? So they are writing from within, very concrete experiences. So the pre-writing is what you do to get students writing, to generate ideas. This is the most important part of the writing lesson plan. Prime the pump is when you include or you read a story that you have written or an excerpt. And that should be in your lesson plan. Remember, the lesson plan, a substitute teacher should be able to pick it up and make it happen exactly. So if you're using Prime the Pump where you include an excerpt or something that you have written, that should go in your writing lesson plan. If you are using a writing prompt, Tell me about a time when you were angry. Tell me about a time. Make sure you test the writing prompt on yourself. How would I respond to that? That will help you avoid the condition called a really lame writing prompt. And we've all had them. So always test them on yourselves. Other pre-writing skills, these should be taught as thinking skills or cognitive skills. Cognitive modeling, you think out loud to teach the skill initially. They're done in large group, small group or pairs, and then individually. Teach them as a thinking skill. Now, these pre-writing skills, along with other things, can be found at my website. The Power Write, the Brainstorming Group, Outlining, Web and Brainstorming. And again, these are all taught as thinking skills. You cannot expect that students know how to do these. You teach them explicitly. Brainstorming, we cannot expect that students know how to do this. They usually evaluate. My favorite, turn to a neighbor, share an idea or something you think you may want to write about. When you're ready, then you can begin. Types of writing lesson plans. These again are found in more description here. Teacher-directed writing lesson plan. This is the writing prompt. Students will write about open-ended writing lesson plan. Students will write. Students have their choice. Prime the pump. We talked about that. Short excerpt or story. Sharing or post-writing. This is what makes it magic. The magic occur when they see how their writing affects another person. How it plays in the heads of others. Turn to a neighbor and share. They can share in pair or small groups. They can write in a journal and trade their journals. Or in large group. Usually no more than 3 a day. It gets really long if in large group more than 3 people share at a time. Just some ideas. Other ideas can be found in my textbook and at my website.